would Jakarta ever reach skibidi Gayatri's level of public transportation?
Welcome back to the What Is Up Indonesia podcast with your host Andovi
and Abigail Limuria.
And as you can see, we have a very, very special guest today, Pak Anies Baswedan. Give it everybody! Pak Anies, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Andovi, Abigail, thank you for inviting.
Thank you for coming to our podcast.
Yes,
very excited.
I'm excited too.
Yes.
It's been a while since the last podcast.
Okay.
And I think this may be among the very few that I've been doing in the past few months.
We're special.
We're special, guys. So all you Wuiboos, so the community is called Wuiboos.
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 Yes.
Kaya Wibu anime.
Okay.
Kind of What Is Up Indonesia. Wuiboos. So all you Wuiboos, be thankful. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're gonna start I want to make something very clear. When we made this interview and when we announced, everyone thinks, oh, this is confirmed. Andovi is an Abah. It's confirmed. Andovi is an Abah, right?
And then somebody even tagged me. I was like, oh, ternyata Abigail and Andovi anak Abah.
Yeah.
Because of you. Thanks, Andovi.
No, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
First of all, I would like to say there is no problem with being anak Abah.
Yeah.
But second of all, actually my question is actually about the real anak Abah.
The real
Which
Anak
is your
Abah.
kids.
Okay.
Which is your kids, literally anak Abah.
Yes.
The literal figure expression. Now I want to ask you actually about family and kids. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, your kids are around our age and the people watching the What Is Up Indonesia.
Maybe, yeah. I think so. I think so, yeah.
Around our age. And I want to ask is like, I know people who know your kids and everyone says the same thing about them. That they're very well raised, well mannered, well behaved. How do you, as a father and a family man, raise your kids being who you are, being Pak Anies Baswedan, and how do they handle the stress of Dad? My dad is Anies Baswedan, and I'm actually very curious about this. I bet you never got asked this question.
Never. This is first time.
Yes.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's always first time, yeah?
That's always first time for everything.
Well, first of all, let me also share with you why an Abah become a term that was used by so many. Okay? So one day, Tia was on a podcast, and then she was asked a few questions, and the way she answered is by using the term Abah whenever she refers to me. You know, and then the host, Mary Riana, she asked her, can all other people call him Abah?
Oh.
Is it not only you? Because that, you call him Abah.
Right.
What about other? Can other also call him Abah?
Yeah.
And she said, sure. They can call him Abah too. And then for some reason, that particular conversation was being, crop. It was become like a, just 5 to 10 second, conversation clip.
Yeah.
And then it was circulated, and then people started to call me Abah. And call themselves Anak Abah. Just like, so that's the beginning. So again, it didn't start from me calling them Anak Abah.
So it was a very natural thing.
It's a very natural process. Okay. Now, what the kids? How do I answer this? Yeah, because the way we raise our kids is like a process that is flowing, natural. We were not orchestrating some methods of educating them, but we have some values that we uphold closely, and then we have sort of habits that we're doing at home.
Okay.
And we are also blessed with the fact that I was raised by my father, my mother's, I would say in a very positive way, and I benefited from that. And I learned the way they raised me, and I used almost same method to raise them. So what are some of the habits?
Yeah.
One is close engagement. Touching is something that is normal to us. So holding hands, hugging, and it actually creates a sense of closeness.
Okay.
And you have that. Number two is storytelling.
Oh.
When they were little, I often come to their bedrooms in the evening before they go to bed and tell stories.
Okay.
And those are all make-up stories.
Fiction.
Dongeng.
Dongeng. Okay.
Completely make-up.
Okay.
So the idea is I'm trying to share with them values that they should uphold, like kejujuran, honesty, and then respect to elderly, and then respect to values, but not by telling them that these are the values you should uphold, but by telling stories.
Right.
That dongeng,
Right.
and then at the end of the dongeng, then I ask them what are the lesson learned.
Oh,
Okay,
this.
got it.
So
That's very
dongeng was one of the approach that we used when they were still little, when they were still, looking forward to me when I came back home.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sure they still
Now-
do. I'm sure they still do.
I'm sure they still.
Now it's a different story, but when they were little, so I spent that time, and then my wife Ferry, she interacted more with them, because after I work for the government,
Yeah.
my God, the time that has been consumed for public engagement is so much of our life. So Ferry was there and share values, habits, and we're grateful with how they are today.
Wow. That's.
There's one
yeah.
thing. Whenever they need anything, I have to make myself available. Anything. So I know if they, for example, all of a sudden they need to ask about some of the homework that is rather complex.
Yeah.
And they would then call me. When they called me, then it means it's urgent, it's important, and I always pick up and I always take time to respond and to solve whatever problems they have.
Oh, wow.
And they know
Okay.
exactly. Only at the time that is needed, they will call. Otherwise, texting.
I see.
I
So
see,
when
I
it is texting, it's important but not urgent. But when it's calling, then we both know that
Right.
it's something that I need to respond right away.
Right. Panis, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking this is that right now there's a lot of, in Indonesia, when you have a father or a mother who's a very important person,
Okay. That's I haven't replied. Yeah.
there's this, bokap gue.
You tahu papi I siapa?
You don't know my dad? My dad is this.
Yeah.
From the stories I hear from people who know your kids, they are not
Yeah.
like that. How? Because they can be like, bokap gue Anies Baswedan, bokap gue Panis. Apa lo? And I don't hear those stories from your kids. And I know many other kids whose father is not on your level, and they give out that, like, oh, bokap gue ini, bokap gue punya ini. How do you instill that personality and mentality? I find that very interesting.
Well, we are, this is a good question. How do we do that? Yeah. How do we do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's time to reflect.
It's also an interesting reflection for us, because we are trying to do things the way most people are doing. So, and we try not to, we always mention that jabatan can come and go. Okay, you can be anybody, but at home, I'm just your father. And when we interacted with other people, give them respect. It doesn't matter who they are. And you should think of how people look at you based on what you're doing, your behavior, your attitude, not about you're the son of someone, you're the daughter of someone, but about who you are. And I'm giving them advice, and I hope they continue to, inshallah, they continue to follow that advice. It's an advice that my mother always give it to us. What we have is only nama baik. How do you say nama baik in English?
Your good name.
Your good name. Yeah, your good name.
Your
Your
good
good name.
name.
Your reputation.
Your reputation.
Yeah.
That's all we have.
Right.
So jaga nama baik-baik.
Wow.
What you have is only nama baik. So jaga nama baik-baik.
Yeah.
And that's also the message for the kids. So, and then I went to parents gathering. I went to parents meeting with Ferry, my wife, and we engaged the way other parents were engaged. And we always told our schools where the children were going to, not to give them special treatment, not to give them privilege, and that's specific. We come to the head principal.
So you go to the school and say, don't give my kids any special privilege.
No privilege. No privilege whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because sometimes those are unsolicited effort.
Right.
Yep.
Being done, by the community, and we did not want that. So do not give them special privilege. Do not give them special attention. Create equal opportunity.
Wow.
And when we talked to them, and they said, "Okay, thank you. We'll do so."
I like how you were very confused when we first asked. I think for me it shows how it just flows very naturally,
right? And
how it's not like something that like you make up, but it's not like here are the advice that I give them A, B, C, but it's more towards like leading by example, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, and actually, come back from this podcast. I will need to talk. I need to talk to Ferry.
That's true.
We really need to sort of what are the lessons learned here?
Right.
So at least when the second question come up, I can answer better.
No, that's a gret answer. But just a quick segue. I would like to thank your kids. I think Mutia, I think is my junior in FAUI.
Oh yeah.
And she watched the first polarisasi on the 2nd of February.
Yeah.
And I was surprised because we didn't give an invite because we wanted to be neutral at that time. Polarisasi pertama, we didn't want to give invite to any of the family of the running candidates. So, but when she came and she watched, I was like, wow. And thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching Polarisasi as well.
And I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you. I really hope you and your kids continue being a good example to all the other kids because.
But let me also underline this.
Right.
They have also gone through a period in which often felt like people reacted to their presence, especially from the older generations. With you're the son of Anies Baswedan, and we expected you to do A, B, C, D. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is that period. But what's interesting is that they're open to us and discuss it.
So they don't hide it. They don't hide it.
Abah, how do we deal with this?
Okay.
When people expecting me to do A, B, C, and that's what my father is doing. Maybe I would like to do something else. And that kind of situation sometimes came up, and they always come back to us and have a conversation. So what was created is an environment of openness.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have that openness, then you're able to share, you're able to raise concern, and have a meaningful and sympathetic response and feedback.
Right.
Yeah. I think a healthy relationship with your kids allows them to be open, and I think that creates a very healthy environment.
I've been busy, daytime until evening. So the way we have our little family gathering is in the morning.
Oh, it's in the morning.
So we pray subuh together, which is around 4:30 to 5:15 in the morning. So we pray together, and then we sit down and talk.
Right.
So they know whenever they need to meet me.
Right.
While waiting in the evening, that's what some of the kids are doing. Tia is almost the one who has been waiting, and Ferry before I came back. And the boys is likely to see me in the morning.
I see.
So those are the pattern.
Anis. So speaking about kids and people around Tia's age, I think the What Is Up Indonesia community, they're around your kids' age, as what Andovi has mentioned. And I think quite similar background in a way, like they're able to speak English and educated and things like that. So fun fact, during the past election, we did a post where we dissected your old paper. Do you recognize this paper?
Oh, yeah. That was like 20 years ago.
I think this was like
2004.
2004.
And remember, this paper is without jockey, huh? Yeah, without jockey, right? Come on, all you jockey people.
Oh, I need to share the lengthy process before it was published.
Oh,
Please do.
Please do.
So this is in WIUI we have a journal club. So it's like a book club, but instead of books, we discuss papers.
I learn. Let me share this, and I think I'd like to see more of this process happening in this country.
Okay.
So this is what happened.
Okay.
I wrote a paper with my professor, and then he responded to me, Anis, this paper is very good. I think it's worth publishing. Okay. So and then what should I do?
Yeah.
I think he gave me some advice, expand this aspect, and then he gave me a few feedbacks on things that I need to expand.
Okay.
So I expanded, I gave it to him, and then I said, I think this is a good draft. Let's send it to them. So he advised me to send it to ASEAN Survey.
Okay.
I think it's in Berkeley, I believe. So I sent it to them, waited for about 2 months, and then I got the response. And the response was, we are considering your paper, okay? Considering your paper.
Right.
These are few questions from the reviewer.
Okay.
And the questions is like 7-8 pages of questions.
7-8 pages of questions.
Yes, and I need to answer those questions. And the answer has to be incorporated. Here we go. The answer is on a separate paper.
Okay.
So these are the paper, and then he give me the editor is sending me list of questions, and I need to answer those questions in a separate paper.
Right.
So it's like I'm giving argument.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
To reply to those questions.
Okay.
Not revising the paper yet.
But it's a different set of
It's
paper.
like you're writing a completely different paper.
Different.
Yeah.
And a list of very critical questions.
Yeah.
All of them very critical questions, questioning about the paper. And I need to reply to all of them. And it was not informed who wrote the questions.
Okay.
It was so
anonymous. It was anonymous.
Anonymous.
Okay.
So I replied those questions.
Yeah.
And then about 2 weeks later, I received a reply, and they said your questions has been sent to a third party to judge.
Wow.
So there is a list of questions and then list of answer, and that the reviewer, the second batch reviewer, saying that your answer is good. Now incorporate those answer into the paper.
Newspaper.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
So then I have to. I've given a deadline to incorporate the paper the answer into the paper.
Into the paper.
Okay. So the paper expanded again, and I learned so much. Being criticized allows me to learn more about the subject.
Yeah.
Really, I'm learning more about the subject because of those questions. So I revised the paper, resubmitted the paper, and then they said this is a go. A go meaning we will publish.
Okay.
Nice.
We will publish.
Right.
And then they said we are going to give this paper to readers who come from different background, who knows nothing about Indonesia, knows nothing about politics, knows nothing about Islam, nothing at all. And that reviewer is going to come back with list of questions. What are these terms means?
Oh wow.
So this paper, the draft, were
Okay.
being sent to someone from a completely different field.
Right.
Who knows nothing about this.
Anything. Okay.
And then I get a reply with questions. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to revise it again.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
To make the paper more readable to audience outside this field.
Outside the field. That's very interesting because actually the one who made this post, so they condense your paper.
Paper. They condensed it in the.
They condensed it
in the
into
post.
10 slides,
Wow.
right?
I told you, what is up Indonesia, the Weeboo community, they're nerds, but they're
And
cool
so
nerds.
many people loved it. It's
Oh my
11.
God.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people. And the ones who did this, well, his name is Taufik and Yanti. So Taufik is actually a PhD in physics. Physics. And Yanti is a PhD in media. So both of them are not from
The political
background.
Yes.
And they can understand it to a point that they can summarize in the 10
that's
slides.
explained.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. And so I think
That's amazing.
and so they wanted to ask you
Yeah.
some questions. They told me. The question is, this was written in 2004, around that time, right? And you predicted kind of like how the political landscape of politic Islam will be. So there, you said that there's a pragmatization that are happening, and then there are different.
I need to read it again.
It was 20 years ago. It's fine.
Because there's like different categories and things like that. So they were wondering, is your position on politic Islam still the same as this paper? Is your view still the same? Or if that is too difficult, since you might need to reread it, they asked where. So they asked the audience, but they want to ask you, where do you think Pak Ani's position?
If I'm not mistaken. So after that process, and then there is another process of reviewing the language with like a specialist.
Yeah.
This entire process took almost a year.
Oh, wow.
From the beginning until it is done.
Okay.
And it's not yet published, but officially done. So I think some of the argument is this. I'm refreshing my memory that
Mau nyontek, Pak.
Bukan nyontek, melihat paper sendiri. Refresh.
Itu apa namanya?
Refreshing.
Refreshing. So
what I'm trying to do in this is to understand there is diversity in terms of political Islam. The Bible says it's not homogeneous.
Yes.
It's not homogeneous. Yeah.
It's not homogeneous. It is diverse, and there is a spectrum. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I made that spectrum.
Yeah.
This is the one.
And then I think prior to my work in comparative politics, I work in math, econometrics, and economics, in which we're used to matrix.
Okay.
Yes.
Everything is matrix, variables and everything. So I try to understand this using the framework of matrix.
Okay.
So I put some variables and then I compare political parties based on those variables to better analyze the decomposing factors that is often we see it in a general picture, in the big pictures.
Yeah.
I try to put it in smaller picture.
Okay, yeah.
And that's
see.
how I then end up with this continuum for parties' ideologies.
Yeah.
So the idea, it's diverse.
Yeah.
It is not homogeneous.
Yeah.
And then I think did I do some prediction?
Yeah, I think you did.
Sorry.
Oh, this is the parties here.
I think this is your future trajectory. Yeah, so this was your prediction.
I would say you were almost a very good predictor.
So
this is 20 years ago.
if you see like all of the comments says that, and according to my team also, like your prediction was quite spot on.
Quite spot on.
In the sense that the Islam inclusive and secular inclusive party in your category become more popular along the way.
Yeah.
And this is also the thing. If I'm not mistaken, I created a term inclusive and exclusive.
Yes, you did.
And I think the future belongs to the inclusive.
Yes.
The future does not
Today
belong
inclusive.
to the exclusive.
Yes.
The inclusive political parties, and I think that's where the world is heading now. Inclusivity is actually the terms of today and to the future. I mean, being elite is one thing. Being exclusive is a different thing.
Can you please elaborate on that? I understand, but can you please elaborate? Being elite is one thing, but being exclusive is one thing. Can you please explain that a bit more?
Being elite is because what you have accomplished that makes you elite. If you're an NBA player, you're an elite.
Yeah, you're an elite basketball player.
Because to get there,
it
it requires a complete hard work from a young age. you become an NBA player.
Yes.
That you're an elite.
Yeah,
okay? Exclusive doesn't have to be based on your work. Exclusive meaning you're excluding others. Okay, but not your group, not based on accomplishment.
Got it.
But based on, let's say, other identity.
Right.
But being elite is based on what you have accomplished.
Understood.
That's why elite. If you're an elite, that's okay. But if you're being an exclusive, then you're separating yourself from others.
Oh wow! You just changed the paradigm and thinking of elite. Because in Indonesia, when people think of elite, there's always a negative connotation towards it.
Yeah.
But in your case, you're explaining it I like that.
You're being exclusive. You have excluded us from you. But if you're being elite, you can be part of us, but meet the requirement.
That's okay. I see.
You're an elite.
Yes.
Because of your accomplished, because of your doing, you become elite. You're an elite academics. Why? Because you have published so many journals. You have lectured so many sessions. Then you're an elite.
Right.
But exclusive, you're separating yourself from others, not based on those kind of criteria.
Not based on merit, but you're just excluding.
And I hope our country doesn't go that way. It's okay. I will say it, Panis. I hope our country, doesn't be exclusive in the future. I really hope so.
Yeah, I like what you said, how the future belongs to the inclusive, because Indonesia is very diverse anyway, right? Yeah. And so it doesn't make sense.
This is also something that I'd like to talk about, when it comes to Indonesia. Indonesia being very diverse. Sometimes I ask simple questions. What makes Indonesia unique compared to other nations across the globe? And sometimes we said because of our diversity.
Yeah.
And my questions then, are we the most diverse nation on earth? No.
No. There's India, there's many other countries. Yeah.
Many. Not only
it's
many.
not just us.
There's many.
Yeah.
So if we said we are unique because we're diverse, there's more country with more diversities.
Understood.
If you go to Africa, you'll see so many. Can you Google?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's do Google.
Let's do Google.
I haven't done it, but let's try. Most diverse nation on earth.
Most diverse nation on earth. Okay. I love
Most
this, guys.
diverse nation.
In the What Is Up Indonesia podcast, everything is not settingan, yeah? Not settingan. We Google straight on the spot.
Okay.
Most in the world. Wow. Congo,
Papua New
Tanzania,
Guinea,
Liberia.
Indonesia's not even there.
Not even at the top.
Understand.
So when we said we are diverse nation, of course we're diverse. But
Liberia is the most racially diverse country.
With the racial diversity. Uganda. So African countries, you're right.
Okay.
African countries.
Yeah.
And then you look at Papua New Guinea.
Right.
They may be more diverse than us.
Right.
Yes, Papua New Guinea actually came up at the very first one here.
So if that's the case, then what's unique about us if
Right. What
others
makes
are
us
more
special?
diverse?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's be objective here.
Okay.
What's unique about us is actually the unity, not the diversity.
Oh, okay.
Look at those countries.
That makes sense.
Look at those diverse. They are diverse, yes, indeed.
But are they united?
They're not united. They're not. There's no unity. So what's unique about us is our unity. Right. Our persatuan. That's the unique part. And how that happens. Okay. Diversity. Who created the diversity? Who made us diverse? It's God given. Okay.
Right.
It's a blessing of God.
Yeah.
Yep.
That we're diverse.
Right.
But what makes unity? It's our effort.
Yes. Okay.
So diversity is a blessing of God.
Yeah.
But unity is a reflection of our own effort. Okay? So we should be proud of unity because that's our work. And diversity is the work of God.
So we should be proud of the unity instead of diversity, because diversity is like God-given.
Da Silva, Baswedan, Abigail, that's God-given. But can we work together? That's depend on us. If we are able to work together, we should be proud of us.
Right.
We should be proud of ourselves.
Right.
Okay? But when we talk about diversity, then we're praising God. Of course, it's a blessing of God.
Right.
But can we work together?
Now that's the ultimate
That's
question.
the questions. Look,
That's the ultimate question.
India is more diverse than us.
Way more diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there unity?
Sort of. With
What
the
about
BJP
Africa?
party now, we don't know.
What about Africa?
There's always civil war. There's always things going on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not analyze every one of the country, okay?
Let's not oversimplify the other countries.
I love other countries. I love you, Africa, India.
Okay, but actually, this is so unique. So the question is, how do we land it where we are today?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have to give the credit to the youth of Indonesia in the early 20th century.
Okay, I love this. No, I love this.
Give the credit to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had agreed on 3 things, Sumpah Pemuda.
Yeah.
What are the most contributing factor to our unity out of 3?
Right.
Kan begini, one nation,
Yeah.
Yes.
one
A language.
one country,
One country,
one
sorry.
land, ya.
One land.
One
Language.
common language,
Common
not one
language.
language. One common language.
Okay. Yeah.
Satu bahasa persatuan.
Yeah.
As soon as we have one common language, and it is an agreement of the public, agreement of the people, there is no government yet. And we are perhaps the only nation on earth that agreed on common language before independence. 17 years before independence. It was not because of the law. It's because we agreed to come for common language.
It's actually very interesting. I never thought about it.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way.
So Da Silva.
Yeah.
Okay.
Da Lopez.
Da Lopez.
Da Lopez, yeah.
Da Lopez.
NTT.
Yeah. You're from Timor.
Yeah.
And then someone from Manado,
Yeah.
someone from Bugis, someone from Aceh, someone from Java, from Sunda.
Yeah.
How do you become an Indonesian? By being able to speak Bahasa Indonesia.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
When you are able to speak Bahasa Indonesia, you become Indonesian. And we are talking about 1920s, 1930s, okay? We're not talking about today.
Right.
Today, everybody's speaking Indonesia.
Back then, everybody had their
Back
own.
then,
Yes,
yeah.
You know, I remember a story, Pak Sultan Takdir Ali Sahbana.
Okay.
When he was young,
Yeah.
in the 30s, he opened a tempat kursus bahasa. Kursus Bahasa Indonesia.
Okay.
So people from all over Indonesia come to Jakarta to learn Bahasa Indonesia. You become Indonesians by speaking the language. Okay? Because it's a sociological identity.
Yeah.
Okay? So having that Bahasa as a common language has made all of us feel equal and feel connected. And remember, the largest ethnic groups in terms of percentage is Javanese.
It's Javanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the representative of Java when they go back home? What do people back home told them or responded to the fact that they do not propose Javanese as their common language of Indonesia? And they said, let's choose Bahasa Indonesia. It creates a feeling of equality. There is no strata.
Yeah.
There is no
majority
when you
gets
said
special
you, it's just you,
privilege.
Anda.
Yeah.
You know, some language the
Have
way
a system. Yeah.
have a rank
Rank. Yeah. Have a rank system.
and how you say you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And those youth agreed a common language. They create a feeling of equality. That's Bahasa Indonesia.
Benar-benar.
So you become Indonesia without leaving your own identity.
Oh.
So you can be Javanese and you can be Indonesian.
You can be from NTT and you can be Indonesian.
Yeah.
You can be from Sumatra, you can be Indonesian.
So menjadi Indonesia, becoming Indonesia, and I have not been able to find the proper English term for this.
Okay.
Is persenyawaan.
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 It's a chemistry
Chemistry. It's a chemistry word.
chemistry term. Persenyawaan. How do you say persenyawaan in English?
I have no idea. You guys write at home persenyawaan. I mean,
What do you think, guys?
what do you think, guys? But I know what you mean. Persenyawaan. It's
It's like your soul, like the soul between like a lot of people
Senyawa.
become.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of persenyawaan.
okay.
Yeah.
H2O,
Right.
Okay.
which is
Hydrogen and 2 oxygen.
okay.
Yeah.
That is persenyawaan. It is hydrogen
Yes.
and oxygen. This is the term I don't know. I don't have the equivalent in English.
Yeah.
Bersenyawa. It create water.
Right.
Okay.
It becomes an element of water.
Persenyawaan is different than campuran.
Yeah.
Mixing, when you are mixing something together,
It loses its integrity, right?
not only that, you do not create a new entity. The persenyawaan is you were mixing two different components, but you created a new component that is different than the previous components.
Okay.
So oxygen
Right.
and hydrogen
Become water.
become water.
Right.
Does water have hydrogen? Yes.
Yes.
Does water have oxygen?
Yes.
Is water oxygen?
No.
Is
By
water
itself,
hydrogen?
No.
No, that's exactly Indonesia.
Okay.
Oh wow! I've never heard this analogy in my life, but I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So you're Javanese, you're Sundanese, you're
That's why it
Manado, you're
works.
Timorese. You all of this
Yeah.
bersenyawa created a new entity called Indonesia. And Indonesia, part of it is all of this. Okay, but to say that Indonesia is Javanese is wrong.
Yeah.
To say Indonesia is Sundanese is wrong. Indonesia is completely new entity
Right.
that is created as persenyawaan all of these components. So like oxygen, hydrogen, bersenyawa, created water.
Yeah.
So when you say this is water, we're no longer talking about hydrogen. We're no longer talking about oxygen. We're talking about water.
Water.
Right.
It's a result
It's like
of persenyawaan.
I'm googling. Senyawa is compound, chemical compound.
Chemical compound.
Yeah, but it's
different.
not.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Chemical compound. So
Right.
it is a new entity. It is a new part, a new
It's a
material.
compound. Yeah.
It's a compounding. I don't know the language. Yeah.
Yeah.
For all you chemistry Wuiboos, please help us out. Persenyawaan. Yeah.
Persenyawaan.
So
Yeah.
Indonesia is a result of that persenyawaan. And when it is persenyawaan, you cannot separate water
Yeah.
and hydrogen
Hydrogen.
anymore.
Without hydrogen, just oxygen, it's not water.
That's why the focus of the conversation is unity, not the diversity. So the components that created Indonesia will always be there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
But
I
what we
understand.
need to actually ensure, maintain is the unity.
Yeah.
And respecting all this diversity, of course. But let's focus on ensuring unity is always present.
Yeah.
Because that's the result.
And just like in chemistry, to make these compounds go together takes a lot of energy. To make nuclear fusion, when you fuse the nuclear, whatever it is, it takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Which is
The effort that we need
yang kita
to
taruh.
give
So-
out.
So when you said the Bhinneka Tunggal Ika line,
Yeah.
which is all everywhere,
everywhere. Yeah.
of all those three words, what is the most important words?
Bhinneka
Ika.
Tunggal Ika. So either
Tunggal.
Tunggal is one, Ika is
Yeah. It's
So Bhinneka means diversity.
diverse. Tunggal means one.
Ika
Ika
means that.
Okay. So the
Iki, in
tunggal.
Japanese there is iki, iku, kui.
Oh, okay.
So Ika is a Sanskrit term
Yeah.
to refer to the word tunggal. So diverse, one, that one.
Okay.
Tunggal.
To emphasize
The
one.
tunggal.
The tunggal. So the
Yeah.
most important word is tunggal.
Tunggal.
And that's what makes us unique. So whenever I travel, when I speak in international arena, then I would say, you have to pay attention to there is one country in the Southeast Asia called Indonesia. Extremely diverse, okay? But we're united. And the uniting factors is language. Language was the first uniting factors. And then after that, there's other components.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why it is very important to maintain, to preserve this diversity, this unity.
Yeah.
It is very important. That's why disparities is dangerous because it can endanger our unity.
Right.
So diversity.
Yep.
I mean, no, sorry.
Unity.
Disparities.
Disparity. Yeah.
Disparity is one factors that can crack our unity.
Right.
That's why we need to address that. Because we have been united using language in the past.
Right.
Now we need to continue that unity by having equal opportunity, equal prosperity.
Right.
That is key because this country stretch. from London to Ankara. That's Indonesia.
West Coast to East Coast, US.
Yeah, how to create that sense of like leveling the playing field of equality that was once created through the creation of Indonesian language, the common language, but
So
now here.
Exactly, 100 years ago, they created unity by
the common language.
Now we need to retain the unity by having equal opportunity. You can be born anywhere and you have equal opportunity to reach your dreams.
Right.
Okay, if that is created, then the unity will always be there. Because this is the 21st century and we have different challenge.
So unity is a byproduct of equality, in a sense.
Yes.
In a sense, you can say that. Yeah.
Because you can have unity.
Yeah.
And then before you have unity, you have a sense of peacefulness. And to have peace, you have to have justice.
Right.
Just.
Right.
And just means equal.
Yes.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because equal opportunity create the feeling of justice. Feeling of justice creates peacefulness. Peacefulness create unity.
And the question in our country right now is that feeling of just and justness.
Exactly.
Is it there or not?
Yeah.
And that's the number one question we have.
There you go.
So when it comes to Indonesia, I think we should continue echoing a message of we are one. We are united. Sometimes we overemphasize the components that made Indonesia.
Okay, I get it.
The ethnic groups, the religious groups,
Yeah, right.
all of that is God-given.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And if we continue on echoing that, we are decomposing our compound.
Okay.
Because the persenyawaan, we're decomposing that.
Yeah.
So, Da Lopez and Abigail, if we talk about Indonesia, then we feel we're one.
Yeah.
Okay? But Da Lopez and Abigail, when it comes to who are you as part of Indonesia, you will be Timorese, you will be Jakartans, you will be, so all this identity strengthened. And suddenly we talk about our identity instead of our Indonesian as uniting factors.
Okay, interesting.
So talking about justice, I think
this is a perfect segue.
we need to address something.
Yeah. No, I love this. Okay, so we need to talk about justice and what's currently going on in our justice system.
Yeah.
We are not going to talk about any case at all.
Yeah.
We are going to refer to one of your tweets that you made a couple of days ago. Okay. I'm gonna read your tweet.
Part of it, yeah.
Okay. Basically I'm gonna write, Tom, jangan berhenti mencintai Indonesia dan rakyatnya. Seperti yang telah dijalani dan dibuktikan selama ini. You go on, and then you say this. Negara Indonesia adalah negara berdasarkan hukum, Rechtsstaat, bukan negara berdasarkan kekuasaan belaka, Machtstaat. Now you wrote this 2-3 days ago. What are your opinions on this tweet? And has there been a change on this tweet? Or whatever? Please give us your opinion.
Sure. I always said this, that my love to Indonesia is an unconditional love. I love Indonesia unconditionally. Saya mencintai Indonesia tanpa syarat. Sometimes we love Indonesia with syarat. Bersyarat. What are the syarat? Hukum berjalan baik. Meritokrasi ada, there is meritocracy, law and order were there, and then equality is there. All of these requirements, and when we see those requirements absence, suddenly expression like I want to leave Indonesia, I want to switch citizenship.
A lot of Wuiboos say that.
I want to just stay away from Indonesia.
Yes, exactly. A lot of young people are losing hope. That's the main thing that I hear.
That's what I said. The message is, Tom, you are going through very difficult situations that may not be happening in a countries where law and order has been institutionalized much better than ours. So you experience this because of the uniqueness of circumstances that Indonesia has today. So the message is, don't stop loving Indonesia the way you have always been. And he shared with me that similar view. He loves Indonesia unconditionally. He could live anywhere in the world. He has the money.
Yeah.
He has the capacity.
He has the connection.
He has the connection. He has everything.
Yes.
Not to live here in Jakarta.
Yeah.
And he can live a good life.
Right. I understand. I completely
And yet,
understand.
he said, I'm staying here. I'm going to fight for better Indonesia. And I'm going to do it for the people of Indonesia. That's unconditional love. We both have that view. And he could be working anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But he decided to do it here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the message is, Tom, stay the course.
Stay the course.
Stay the course. You have always shown us
Yeah.
the unconditional love to Indonesia.
Right.
So he may be inside, but let that love continue to spark.
Wow. Wow. Fun fact, and just a little, we want to have a little fun here. Just a little tidbit. A lot of people think that Abigail looks like Tom Lembong. And that Abigail is the daughter of Tom Lembong. Can you please clarify
Please.
once and for all?
Panis, you know Tom Lembong, you know his daughter, or does he even have?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure. Please tell them I'm not related to Tom.
Tom
Okay?
Lembong. Everyone thinks she's Tom Lembong's daughter. I have no idea why.
Really?
they say- Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Legit.
When I look at it again, yeah, they look
Okay, it's confirmed. Abigail is Tom Lembong's daughter.
No, but yes, I know Tom's kids.
Yeah.
Abigail is not
okay, finally.
one of Tom's daughter. So.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
I'm loving our conversation so far.
Yes.
Should we go to the ask me anything from the Wuiboos? Because I don't know about the time. But we want to go to this, just the books part.
Okay. One more question,
One more
and then
question.
we go to the Wuiboos question.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Go. I know you wanna
dying
ask
to
it.
ask
You're
this
dying to ask this question.
Panis, I love to read books.
You do.
I really love to read books. One of the books that I'm reading
Me
right
too.
now is a book that got a bit of viral recently because you posted it. Nexus.
Okay.
I'm reading I just finished it 2 days ago. And it's amazing on AI, on information networks, how it creates truth and order, all of that. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about recently not my boss, my colleague, but my boss, Banana.
Okay.
Technically, yeah. Yeah, hello Banana. Her books are getting burned. And there's this feel and vibe that young kids are not reading books in Indonesia. However, from your posting, from your social media, you always read books. Every you go on the plane, you read books. You update on what books you read. I guess my question is this, all right? Why is reading books so important in Indonesia? And what can we do to foster this culture of reading books? Especially coming from you.
Yep.
Please, I don't know, please go on that.
Indeed, we have to sort of continue campaigning book reading to our young people.
Yeah.
And also to our generation, actually, who have not had these habits of readings.
Yeah.
And in Bahasa Indonesia, there is called minat baca.
Minat baca, yeah.
Minat baca.
But there is also daya baca.
I totally agree.
Okay. So how do you say it in English?
Minat is like
a want.
desire. Desire to read. But
Daya is a skill. To
Your
read.
ability to read. and to comprehend,
Yeah,
I think.
Daya means more, stamina, endurance
Endurance.
to read.
Okay.
So meaning you have minat baca, but minat baca WA.
Lambe
So you
tura.
have minat baca.
Minat
So you-
baca WA. Yeah.
Benar,
And
ya.
when you open your WhatsApp, even when it is a long text, you skip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Especially group WhatsApp keluarga, you're like, too long.
But when you're reading a book, it's daya baca what matters. Because you have the endurance.
You need to have the
read
stamina. Yeah.
cover to cover, like you just said. Panis, I just finished. That means you read, back to back. That's daya baca. It means you have not only minat baca,
Wow.
but what you have is daya baca.
Oh, I never thought about it
And
that way.
that's what's important. So what we need to campaign in Indonesia is the daya baca, not only minat baca. Minat baca is good.
It's good, yeah. Good there.
That's why when we talk about Harry Potter, for example.
Yeah. Oh, I love Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Sometimes I questions the narratives of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's 700 pages. Okay?
Yeah.
And kids read
it
it.
educated the kids. As soon as you complete 700 pages of book, you look at 200 pages of book. That's nothing. I've done 700.
Because you've built up your
You built
stamina.
that stamina.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we need to continue campaigning. Why it is important, when you read books, of course, we know you expanded your horizon. But most importantly is you are stimulating your imaginations to grow.
Yep.
Because and if you stimulate your imagination to grow, then your sense of creativity is also growing.
Right.
Because you train your brain to imagine. So when you read a line, it's a blue house in the foothill of a mountain Merapi, surrounded by trees and green grass with flowers. What you imagine is different than what Abigail imagined. Same line.
Yep.
And everyone who's listening also have a different imagination.
Right.
And if you convert that into movie, then we stop the imagination.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are disappointed when their books are turned into movies.
Yeah, because their imagination is different.
Else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you read books, it stimulates your imagination. Number two, when you read more books, you will be able to say more about anything that you're doing.
That's true.
You cannot write if you don't read.
Yes.
And you cannot speak if you don't read.
Right.
So sometimes, when people, when someone give you a microphone, Andovi, please say something about this.
Yeah.
When your memory is full of knowledge, you're able to come up with something that you can say. But if you don't read, then you don't have the reservoir there.
Yeah, I know the reservoir, exactly.
You don't have the reservoir.
You can kind of tell when someone doesn't read a book. And I don't mean that to be like soppy. No, you can tell when someone doesn't read a book. Because you're right, the reservoir and mental capacity is not
Yeah.
there.
And then beside that, when you read books, it also stimulates you to read more, to understand more, to have more curiosity. So reading books is instrumental in that aspect. And it also train yourself to have a critical thinking, to have systematic thinking, to have ability to also comprehend.
Right.
So those are skills that is needed if we want to become a learning nation.
Yeah.
If we want to become an advanced nation.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, in the past, we always said first country, and then we call it first country, second country, third countries.
Yeah.
And then you have industrialized country, then you have advanced countries. Now, the first great nation is called learning nation.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
if some nations now call themselves, we are learning nation. They're not calling themselves advanced nation or first world country. We call it learning nation. And to become a learning nation, you have to have the reading endurance too.
Right.
I love
That's why
that.
habits
The reading
to read
endurance.
is really important.
I think that's a very interesting point because a lot of people, once they started to read, they're like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, this is too much. Like, I don't think because something that people often forget is like to build endurance, you need to build it, right? You're not born with it.
And Abigail, when it comes to reading, allow readers to choose what they read.
True. Yeah.
Because that's key.
Yes.
What I like is subject that, Abigail, you may not like it.
Exactly.
And you may not like it. So I cannot enforce people to read what I read.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and this is, let me give you my experience with the kids.
Okay.
I took them to a library. I took them to a bookstore. And then I gave them the liberty to choose the book.
Okay.
And I don't intervene. Like, this is not a good one. This is you go to a bookstore. Definitely, most books were has been screened.
Yeah.
What's on the bookstores. So anyway, they choose books that they like, so that the endurance is being trained.
Right.
Because they're reading something that they like. But if we choose the book for them, they may not like it. And when they read, Abigail, you know, the experience that you share, you know, not your experience, but what people said about tired reading is often assignment.
They're reading something that they're not interested really about. Yeah.
And, you know, in schools, that's a problem because one classroom has to read same books.
Yeah, you're right.
And when reading same books, you know, I don't have problems with that as a teaching as a teaching method, but often make it light, make it simple, so that the mandatory reading is not testing your endurance.
Okay. Because that's not when you're supposed to build the endurance. Okay. All right. So, Pak Anies, a lot of the WIUI community, the Wuiboos, have given you a lot of questions. There's like hundreds of questions, but we've picked like
a couple.
I'm fastening my seatbelt.
Let's get ready. Let's get ready for this.
Yeah, okay. So the first one is from Shafira Nandiara.
Shafira Nandiara.
Yeah. So the question is, what would you prefer, a doer or a thinker? I believe Indonesia lacks meritocracy, but on the other hand, there's so many educated ones who are high on concept and yap all the time without the ability to make great things happen. What's your take on that?
Wow. It's a great question, Shafira Nandiara. You get a coffee. No, I'm just kidding.
Really? Okay.
In an organization, there is always job description. There is always a mission, and we divided the work. Some were working on the execution level, and some were doing the management level. Okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
If we're talking about an individuals, then in life we have to do everything. I myself have to think.
Yep.
I have to strategize. I have to create my own tactics, and I have to execute it myself.
Yes.
Because as an individuals, I cannot only be a doer, and I cannot only be a thinker.
Right.
Yep.
You know, for example, I have to clean up my house.
Right.
Okay, and I strategize how I clean up, but then I have to execute it, right?
Yeah.
But I believe the context of the question is Indonesia.
Indonesia,
right? Indonesia. So what happened is the more complex the organizations, then leadership is more abstract.
Okay.
The more simple organizations and leadership is more concrete. So when you lead a team of 10 individuals and the job is to ensure the street is clean,
Okay.
then your job description is more concrete.
Yeah.
You have to ensure the street is clean. Then you have to monitor every 6 hours. You have to swipe it. You know, there is a motor to swipe it. It's more concrete. But as you move up in the organizations, you reach to the CEO level, then your job description is more complex.
Right.
Got it.
And when you make a decision, the execution is by the organization, not by yourself. So a CEO of Garuda, when they said we have to do A, B, C, then it doesn't mean he himself is going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There is a line. So what I suggest is do not create an assumption that to work ya istilahnya nih.
Yeah.
So
Indonesia lacks meritocracy. So many who are high on concept without ability to make great things happen.
Right.
yeah.
So
only she said only yapping, so only talking.
yeah. A prime minister is only talking.
Right.
He's not going to go to the street and clean up the street.
Understand.
A mayor is only talking.
Right.
But he created an instruction
And a
that
strategy.
make organization operates.
Right.
A CEO is the same thing.
Right.
So, but to reach there, you have to have experience at the execution level,
Okay.
and then build up to the conceptual level.
Okay. Thank you, Banis. Second question.
Go ahead, Andovi. You choose.
This is from Volume Up 83. I'm sure that's not his or her real name.
Pretty sure it's a second
Well,
account.
It's a second account. And as we know, Indonesians love second accounts. With many great names.
Like what, Dov?
Like, okay. No, far away.
Far away, yeah.
Fun times. Okay.
Fun times.
Okay. Why do candidates or policymakers tend to make policies that always make things free?
Why?
Why would candidates or policymakers
Why do candidates or policymaker
tend to make policies that make things free?
yang kasih gratis-gratisan lah?
Wouldn't such policies create an instant society? Let alone at the level of a policy, an empowerment project alone aims for the community to be independent. As a Gen Z, I don't agree with programs like this. We don't need free coffee. Okay. Except Mad for Coffee, the best coffee in Chipete. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So that's basically why do we make policy?
You can actually add more coffee here.
Thank you, Mad for Coffee Chipete. Terima kasih banyak. Jangan asam 2. Okay. So why basically Volume Up asks, why do we make policies that make things free?
So why do we like to make? Why do policymakers like to make things give away free stuff that doesn't empower a community to be self-sustaining and independent? I think.
That's.
I think that's what she.
This is a very complex.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
So subsidies often echoed during campaign, because subsidy help voters.
Right.
Voters
it's
feel
popular.
It's very popular. But the question is, what kind of subsidy that actually correct? What kind of subsidy that actually not right?
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So if I may, gratis, for example, if the gratis aspect or the subsidy for sectors that empowered, we just said, empowered the people, that's often needed.
Yep.
Give me one example. Education.
Right.
We would like to create equal opportunity for every children to have education up to 12th grade.
Yeah.
That means some will get it for free. And that is something
that's empowering.
Which is empowering. Right. And I'm for it. Right. Why I'm for it? Yeah. Because they will become an educated person, highly skilled, and able to join markets, become middle class, economically, financially independent, and later on, taxpayers. Right? Right. Later on. That's how the state will then earn its revenue. Right. By creating middle class.
I see.
But how do you create middle class? Through education.
Oh, yep.
So that's why I often said this is an investment. You invest on the young people by allocating fund for education. From the family point of view, education is free. When it's not actually free, someone is, the state is paying actually. That's why we, the family, feel it's free. Yep. But actually, state is paying. But because of that, you will get through all the level of education. You become economic independent. Right. And then later on, you pay back that
to society.
Taxing. Through taxing, through your work.
Right, right.
Because once you're empowered, so like you went through an education, you have become someone that can influence society through this podcast, through your talk, through various things. That's a return that the state is seeing by investing on your education. So free on that aspect is fine.
As long as it's empowering.
It's empowering. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
All right.
Last question from the Wuiboos.
Yeah. So it's from Jake Kim. I need to ask this question because there's so many questions that are like this regarding education. So the question is, why is there a persistent issue of low quality education in many Indonesian schools? And how can we improve the quality of teaching and learning to produce more skilled and knowledgeable graduates? And also, many Indonesians struggle with critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Can we foster these essential skills in our education system?
Very good questions.
Jake Kim.
This is a thorough questions.
Yeah. Yep.
And right to the point. if we want to improve the quality of our education, then we sort of start from a simple thing. What is called education? It's a learning process between learners. One is called student, one is called teachers, but both need to be learner.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it is called an education process. So if we want to improve the quality, then we should start by improving the quality of the teacher.
Teachers.
If the teacher's quality is significantly improved, we will then see the quality of the students will also be improved. So teachers training is key. And making teachers willing to learn continuously is key.
Yep.
What is learning? To learn and to unlearn.
Yep.
To learn and to unlearn. Okay, that's unique. Okay.
And therefore, they need to do new things by learning.
Yeah.
And they need to abandon things that they should not be doing it anymore. It's called unlearning.
Yes.
So learning has two components to that. So unlearning is no less important. So if we empower teachers to be able to learn and to unlearn continuously, you will see classroom that is changing.
Yep.
That is more engaging. And then second, school principal.
School principal.
Yeah, school principal.
This is the first time I'm hearing about
This is the first thing I'm hearing about this.
You want to have a company that runs well, choose the right CEO. You want to have your coffee shop runs well, choose the right manager.
Right. You want to have a school that runs well, right? Choose the right principal.
Exactly. So it starts with leadership.
The key is in the teachers and
So
principals.
teachers and school principals.
Right.
Okay.
So yes, curriculum is good to be revised, but I often made an analogy like this. You wanna shoot with a shooting target with with your
A gun.
gun.
Yeah.
You keep changing your gun, but you never train the shooter to shoot better.
Yep.
Right.
And you changing the gun is changing the curriculum.
Okay, that's an analogy. Okay.
But the shooter is the teacher, those who is going to deliver, right?
Yes.
So you keep changing the gun, which give you projects, right?
But
if
I
you-
understand.
but
I know
if you-
exactly what he's talking about. He's speaking between the lines right now. Yes.
Let me have some more coffee
Yes,
first.
yes, coffee.
Oh, that's a lot of water bottle.
Jadi, if you actually train the teachers, you will have impact
Yep.
beyond what you expected. And
I
then school
see.
leadership. School leadership matters. And then after that, these infrastructures and everything, that's fine to be improved. But I think the core is quality of teachers. And that's why when you see teachers, I often ask the simple questions. Do you remember your teachers when you were still in school?
I
remember
a few of them.
a few.
My English
How many?
teacher.
Yeah.
My English teacher and my theater teacher. That's the one that's very close to my heart.
How many teachers you have?
A lot.
A lot.
Since I moved around.
How about you, Abigail? How many teachers you have?
I moved around.
30,
Is it-
40s? All levels?
All levels. Wow, there's a lot.
A lot, right?
A
How
lot.
many you
yeah.
remember?
Teachers.
I remember some, like Andovi. For example, in high school, I remember my Bahasa Indonesian teacher. I remember my biology teacher, really well. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. There's so many teachers that have taught us, but only a few that we remember. Okay?
True.
So I whenever I talk to our teachers, I said, you are now teachers. Let me ask you simple questions. Do you remember your teachers in the past? And they all said, I remember it average 3 to 5. Okay? But you had 50 teachers. Well, how come you remember only 3 to 5? So what kind of teachers that you remember?
The one that are inspiring for
Okay.
me.
The one that made me want to be in class and learn.
Okay.
to be
And
honest.
push me to achieve things that I thought I couldn't achieve earlier. Yeah.
So teachers were inspiring.
Yeah, very inspiring.
Second category is teachers were annoying.
Yeah.
Sometimes you remember teacher yang galak,
Yang galak, I remember.
guru yang
killer, dosen killer. Yeah.
That's remembered. But the thing is, now imagine if 20 years down the road, your students is being asked the same questions. Will your name be mentioned by your student? Okay? If you are a good teacher, your students will always remember you. So now, think of ways to make your student inspired by you, so you will always be remembered.
Teachers' job is really tough, man.
Yeah, teacher job is really tough.
Really
So
tough.
it is tough. It is tough. And I think if you empower, and these are individuals with goodwills, individuals willing to donate their time, energy, and passions to work with. However, we always need to help them.
Right.
One thing that we must not forget is the welfare of the teachers.
That's right.
We demand
So
teachers
much.
to be an inspiring teachers, but we often didn't pay attention to their welfare.
Yep.
If their salary is only able to support them for 15 days in a month, then what about the other 15 days?
Yeah.
Okay? So we as a nation, if we care about education, then we need to be caring to our teachers. If you care to our teachers, then you can demand performance. You can demand delivery from them. But if you don't take care of them, how can we improve our quality?
Totally agree.
So the key, the short answer is
Yeah.
improve the quality of teacher and school principal
As a principal.
to be able to be learners, to learn and to unlearn.
To unlearn. I like that.
Okay.
I like to unlearn.
And then care about their welfare
Yeah.
so they can focus their energy on teaching. Because the state is taking care of their welfare. And the state need to look at expenditure on education not as cost, but look at it as investment.
Investment.
Both are expenditure, but expenditure as investment is different than
than cost.
expenditure and cost.
Yeah, completely
Totally good.
understand.
All right.
Okay.
So we're at the end of our podcast. I just have one last question. And this is, I think, the hardest one in the comment section. And it has the most liked.
Most likes.
It has the most liked. I think it's very hard to answer. And so I'm going to just let you read it and see if you can answer it.
Okay. Please read it, okay? From Arwen Nanhar. Please read it out loud, please. Please, Manis.
This is from Arwen Nanhar.
Yes.
Would Jakarta ever reach skibidi Gayatri's level of public transportation?
Yes.
What do you
does it mean?
think?
Listen, I have no idea. This is
Okay.
General
Okay.
language.
So.
I have no idea. I'm
Oh
millennial.
my God. Skibidi Gayatri's
Okay.
levels.
So
Abigail, do you understand what this means?
I can try to explain. So skibidi, it's just like a word that Gen Alpha likes to use. It can mean anything, basically. So it's just
Skibidi.
Skibidi is
What
like...
I know is Scooby-Doo Dum Dum.
That's right. Yeah. Will help me out.
Yeah.
And then gyat is like it doesn't have a meaning as well. It's like
There's no meaning to any of this,
but
basically.
riz is something good. So riz is charisma.
Charisma.
So when people say like, oh, Pak Anies, you have riz, that means you have a charisma. You're cool.
Yeah.
You're on top of your game. So by saying, will Jakarta reach skibidi gyat riz level public transportation? Will Jakarta's public transportation ever be good? That's basically it. That's basically it. That's basically
But you have
right?
to say like, would Jakarta ever reach skibidi gyat raise levels of... That's how you say. That's how you read it. Yes.
Let me try.
Yeah.
Would Jakarta ever reach skibidi great? Skibidi gyat reach
riz
level.
level.
That's so difficult to say.
That's yeah.
You
So
want
it
a
just
serious answer?
Your short answer could be, yes, bintang skibidi.
Yeah,
That's the short answer.
Oh.
Yes, bintang skibidi.
wait,
Yes.
I think that's
no?
bad, right?
Oh, no, yes, sigma.
Oh no.
Sigma.
1,000 aura.
Yes, 1,000 aura means very good. That's a short answer. I don't know. I'm not manipulating you. I'm not tricking you. That's actually the answer.
Yeah.
It can happen if we have Sigma level governor and citizen.
Listen, Sigma level governor. Sigma level governor. Okay.
I think we close the podcast with that. We close the podcast with that.
But we do have the memes. Do you have the memes?
Do you want to still?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you
just
very short.
You don't have to answer. Just look at the memes and give your reaction.
Okay.
It's memes. Okay, this is the memes.
I'm still open to work.
For those of you who don't know, we're showing the.
So this meme is made by Zaki, our meme creator in What Is Up Indonesia. So parents, why aren't you getting a job? How bad can the job market
possibly be?
The job
market. Anis Baswedan #open to work LinkedIn. How do we compete in the job market against Anis Baswedan?
That's
this
right.
Is unfair.
Unfair.
That's the first meme.
First meme. And the second one.
We're just gonna show in the thing.
And I think I'm enjoying watching now.
You're enjoying watching the whole. Yes.
That's right.
That's the second meme.
Okay, I don't know. I'm scared to show the rest. You choose. I'm scared. I don't want.
This is the third meme. No. Let's not show that one. No, we're not showing. Okay, that's it. The rest are the memes.
That's it. We're not showing anyone.
Do I have the liberty?
After this, we'll show.
I don't think the rest of the memes are safe.
Okay.
Panis, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Well,
Panis.
Andovi, Abigail, thank you so much.
Yes.
You know, when the opening of our constitution said, mencerdaskan kehidupan bangsa, it's not about schooling. Okay, it's mencerdaskan. It's not menyekolahkan. Okay, and what you're doing is mencerdaskan. What you're doing is enlightening. You're opening up perspective, and you look at segments that may have been overlooked by other media, and you're catering into that segments, and I truly appreciate that. I think what makes Indonesia unique, since its beginning 150 years ago, when the term Indonesia was founded, is that we always have new generations that come up with creativity, that come up with breakthrough. And you know, I'm just here for an hour and a half. I watch from a distance, and then I'm experiencing it. I admire what you're doing, and thank you.
Thank you.
And continue doing the noble work.
Thank you, Panis.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih banyak.
Thank you.
Thank you, Panis. And that was it, Wuiboos. We already gave you Pa Anis Baswedan as the guest. If you want to ask for more, I don't like you guys. It's too high. The expectation is too high now. What else?
Bye-bye. See you in the next episode.
See you.